love God and love neighbor. This is the message, this is the responsibility, this is what the purpose of our life. Love God and love our neighbor. And so
Jesus Christ is the firstborn of the dead. To him be glory and power forever and ever.
the Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Some Sadducees, those who deny that there is a resurrection, came forward and put this question to Jesus, saying, Teacher, Moses wrote for us, if someone's brother dies leaving a wife but no child, his brother must take the wife and raise up descendants for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers. The first married a woman but died childless. Then the second and the third married her, and likewise all the 7 died childless. Finally the woman also died. Now at the resurrection, whose wife will that woman be? For all 7 had been married to her. Jesus said to them, the children of this age marry and remarry, but those who are deemed worthy to attain to the coming age and to the resurrection of the dead, neither marry nor are given in marriage. They can no longer die, for they are like angels, and they are the children of God, because they are the ones who will rise, that the dead will rise. Even Moses made known in the passage about the bush, when he called out, Lord, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and he is not God of the dead, but of the living. For to him all are alive. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
How are you?
Fine, Father.
I hope you are all keeping good health after the typhoon number 8. Today talks about the resurrection. This is a topic which is not easy to understand, which is not easy to explain, because we are talking something about what happens after the death. It is not easy to understand, not easy to explain, because no one after the death has come back and told us that the life will be like this or like that. So Jesus in today's gospel explains to us about the resurrection, the life after death. Now, before understanding the passage today, the gospel today, we need to understand the background. There are 2 groups of people in the gospel. One group is the Sadducees, the other group is the Pharisees. Sadducees, they don't believe in the resurrection. They also don't believe in the angels. So this is the main point. For them, there is no resurrection, and for them, angels do not exist. Why? Because they say that for them, they are very traditional. They believe in the book of Moses, in the books of Moses. No, they believe in the Torah, no, the first books of Moses. And they say that Moses did not say anything about the resurrection. So Moses did not say anything. Therefore, there is no resurrection. And they believe the books of Moses because they say that that is the written law. Jaya, can you tell them not to talk, please? Yes, no? Sorry. Then for them it is the written law. Now what Moses has said and done is the written law. And so there is no resurrection. Because it was Moses who did not say anything. So they believe in the written law. So these are the groups of Sadducees. And there is another group called Pharisees. For them, there is the resurrection. For them, there is angels. Why? Because for them, they believe in the oral tradition, which means from one generation to the other generation, they pass on what they have heard, what they have learned, one by one to the other generation. For example, we have learned something from our parents, and we also pass on to the other generation. So this is what we call it as a oral tradition. So we hear, we learn, and then we pass on. So for the Pharisees, there is the resurrection. There is the angels. So it is very important that we know that these two groups and the differences of these two groups. Now the Sadducees, they come with a question. We have to understand that they don't believe in the resurrection, but at the same time, they ask the question about the resurrection. So it is very contradictory. They don't believe, but then still they ask about the resurrection. So they come up with a story that a woman married 7 brothers, and so after the death, whose wife will she be? So that was the question. Now Jesus explains about the life after death. Now we have to understand that when we are born, we come into this world. When we are born, we come into this world. We have not chosen which country to be born. We have not chosen our parents, our family, our brothers and sisters. So therefore, what we have to understand is that this is a blessing from God. This is a gift from God. Whether you are born in the rich family or poor family, whatever country, whatever place, remember that this life comes from God and this life is a blessing from God. And so we have to be grateful to God for this gift. Always, every day. I always tell that every day is a new day, and every day we have to thank God for this gift of life, because every day it is coming new. Every day it is coming new. So the life belongs to God, life comes from God, and we belong to God. So we are already the children of God. And then we live in this world, and then one day we have to die. We have to leave this world. Now Jesus in today's gospel says that we will live in a different way. We will live in a different way. And so Jesus says that we are like angels and we are the children of God. So maybe here when we are living on this earth, we have the structure, we have the body, and we understand each other because we see each other. But then after the death, the life will be completely different. That means we will be united with the Lord. We are like angels, we are the children of God, and it is totally a different world, totally a different life. And we will be united with the Lord. So therefore, first of all, the life comes from God. Finally, life also goes back to God. And this life is always with the Lord, because it belongs to God. Therefore, Jesus tells us that there is the resurrection. That means there is the life. We will continue to live, but in a different way, in a different place, in a different way that we really cannot explain or understand. But then there is life. Now, while saying that there is a resurrection, Jesus also tells us that what is important now. Because many times we think about something about tomorrow and then we waste today. So Jesus says that the life that we have here is very precious. Very precious. And therefore, Jesus says, love God and love neighbor. This is the message, this is the responsibility, this is what the purpose of our life. Love God and love our neighbor. And so Jesus also tells us that He is the God of the living, not of the dead. So He says that God of Abraham, Isaac, and the God of Jacob. That means we continue to live. There is no end for this life. Because this life belongs to God and it is always with the Lord, so there is no end point. We think that the death is the end point. But then, Jesus says that we continue to live, but in a different way, in a different place. So that is why Jesus says God is the God of the living, not of the dead. And so we always live in the Lord, and we always have life in the Lord. God bless you.